Assembly's live, so come subscribe. Your soul's in trial, or simply tired. Soul medicine. Welcome to another edition of Warrior Line Soul Tribe Assembly YouTube channel. I'm here with a conversation with my dear friend Jennifer. It's been a while, and that's been on me. Been doing some things that we're going to talk about. But please, before we get into the program, the episode, please like, subscribe, and share. It's been a while that have been on. I'm going to explain that reasoning in a couple of minutes. But if you would take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, this is a safe place, safe space where you can. We have different points of views. We're not clones of each other, but we have a heart for the people, a heart for truth. And if you want people to hear that truth from two ordinary people who just love our families, love our communities, and love and cherish this country and what it's all about. Just please like and subscribe and share the channel, share our content. We got a lot of content, past conversations that you want to share and like and subscribe and listen to those too. But with no further ado, we appreciate that, and I'm thankful to be back. And how you doing, Jennifer? It's good to be
Doing
back.
well,
Good to have
thank
a
you.
conversation. Great.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. Well, you know it was good reason. So this conversation we're going to start off with what I'm doing here in Texas, in San Antonio, Texas, in particular, with the food pantry, and we'll let it go from there. So, of course, this crisis is happening, and we had a food pantry. My father's business first, we had a food pantry, and then last year, all my volunteers just quit, and it became me and my wife and a couple more people, and we couldn't physically sustain it because we had like 20 families coming a month, 20, 30 to 50 families coming a month, and we had to do labor, pick it up, and so we had to temporarily to close it down. And we hated that because the food pantry has always been the heart and soul of our ministry. We've had many testimonials of people saying, my baby was crying because y'all was there to give us food. They was able to get them something to eat. Even pets, we give out pet food and stuff like that. Also, just more than food, we give out toiletries and stuff like that. So we've helped people, and we've enjoyed help people, and we have no desire for any fanfare recognition from it. We just do it by the grace of God. Only reason why we do advertise is so people can support it. If they choose to. And so we had to pause it, and it really hurt us, but it was just something that physically we were limited, we couldn't do. Well, a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago now, 2 months ago, a friend came home, and he was an old friend in the Navy. I went and did his retirement, and I was a chaplain at his retirement, and I told him about the food pantry, and he said, you know what, I'm retired now. I got the skills, and we're going to, we see the need that's going on right now because our phone still blows up about food, and we hate to really tell people we don't have it no more. We're not open no more. He said, I'm going to help you with this. We're going to get this back open. We're going to do some things. So with me and him together, my wife and the family, we really got on the ball and then of course, we did meaning me, Jennifer and I did a conversation about talking about community food stamp and the crisis of food stamp and nutrition and things like that. And that spurred the inspiration too to get it back going. So I thank you, Jennifer, for being the heart and soul behind that. Our conversation always inspired me to just do things, and really got my heart on that. After that conversation, we had a long discussion with my wife because we always listened to it after, saying, yeah, we need to get this back going. And then between that time, I'm doing a perfect timing series, Divine Timing. His name is Dave, came back, and now today, last week we had to do some technical stuff and some bureaucratic stuff, so we was there and we got all the paperwork back going, so we're good to go with that. This week, today, I posted a couple things on Blue Sky. We start the physical labor of getting the place back up and running. So I'm truly excited because there's a number of furloughed people here that's really seeing the crisis firsthand. People are hungry. People are seeking food. They're really not even seeking money in my area. They're really seeking food. And I just thank God for his perfect timing that we have decided to get this back going. So we should be back open in January fully back open where we can give our food to the community. And these people, we've got food to the community. I want to say this for us, this is no religion tied to it. There's no have to come to church tied to it. They don't have to sit through a service tied to it. They don't have to listen to me preach or talk or anything tied to it. It's simply if they qualify, they get the food. The only qualification is being a human being and you qualify by the numbers. Rich people can't come in and get food. No, millionaires and billionaires can't come in and food. It's for the needy. And that's the only qualification. So we just thank God for that. And I just want to personally thank you, Jennifer, for, being in this conversation with me, and because you always inspire me to think of things, because I know you such a servant, such a community advocate for the people who can't speak for themselves. You're an advocate for the voiceless. You speak up for the hurting. You have done great conversations, and your conversation about, we discussed a couple weeks ago is just so brilliant. And I just thank you for always encouraging me. But that's where we've been going for the last couple of weeks because I've been out of pocket a little bit, getting the food pantry back open, but it's been for a good cause. So that's where we're at, and that's why I just want to come up and publicly on here thank you for being such an inspiration. And yeah, we getting it back going. Yeah.
I think that's great. I think it's good to lean into service.
Yeah.
Especially when times are challenging.
Yeah.
I think I think it's important that we stay connected within our own communities, within our own people, and have that reflected back to us. Because there's a lot of information flying around at rapid speed. And it's important to remember the core of who we are as people and what our purpose on this earth is.
Mm.
And it isn't to be the reactionary, sub-posting commenter on the internet. Our purpose in this world is to actually respond in real life to things that are happening to real people.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I think that's great that your church is doing this outreach and that you're committed to doing this for the people in your community, because that is far more valuable than spending time on the internet, having the same circular arguments with different people over and over and over. The hard reality of it is people are who they are.
Mm-hmm.
It's not your job to teach them, tutor them, mentor them, train them, change them. They're going to think what they want to think. They're going to say what they want to say. But who are you? What are you doing with yourself?
Mm-hmm.
How are you contributing a solution to the problem? So I think that's really great. I love to hear that you're doing that, and it's a great testimony to your faith and who you are as a person when you do acts of service and kindness like that.
I've been thinking a lot about our conversation on Alzheimer's, and to tie this to your point, every time we feed somebody or give out bags of food, because ours we give out the actual food. We don't cook and prepare, but we give out food. And I always think about every time I do it, never misses me. I always think about my own childhood, and in the theater of my mind, even right now as I speak, I see that government cheese. My mom at one point in her life was on welfare, and I seen when the person used to bring the boxes to us, how me and my sisters' eyes used to get big because we know the best grilled cheese in the world was that government cheese, that thick block of cheese that we used to get, and we knew we was gonna have a good meal that night. Yeah, just grilled cheese. And to your point, I do this because I don't lose my connection to humanity. Just like when one of our most popular conversation was your discussion, your openness, and how you brilliantly, eloquently talked to us about autism and its effects in a real way. That connects human beings. It makes people not feel alone. It makes people feel that it's not their fault because they might be in a downturn right now, or they're not outcast and just need to be just aside because they need some help with support with food, or need somebody to understand what autism is and what they go through, and the hardships of life and the differences they are, and how you broke that down, how it's just different, how things are just different. That don't mean you're less than human, and just because somebody needs some food, that don't mean I'm better than them. The connection to humanity is what I missed, and that's the driving force, because I won't always want to keep things in my life. My roommates always tell me, "Son, stay grounded. Don't think your income level, or how much money you have, or what neighborhood you live in, or what car you drive, or what job you have. Don't ever allow your status in life to erase your humanity." Because she said, once you do that, then you're going down the dangerous path, and you will start otherizing people too. And the food pantry allows me to always say to myself, boy, I'm calling myself, boy, don't forget where you came from. Don't get off your high horse. I know you retired from the military. You got your, yeah, but don't forget where you came from when you couldn't do nothing for yourself and somebody reached out, no matter what the reason it was, and helped you. Because last time I read, Democrats, Republicans, MAGA, in class, out class, everybody needs to eat. Everybody needs a source of nutrition, and because that's a human condition, and that's what it keeps me grounded, and makes me never forget. Don't ever let anybody strip you of your humanity. And to your point about this world and what's going on in this world, and things like that, being on the internet, if we get wrapped up in that so much, it become a cycle of, we just become disconnected to the plight of the voiceless, to the plight of the people who are hurting. And these conversations, my relationship with you, the people in my life, I thank God for people in my life, you, my wife, people in my life that keeps me grounded. And the people in my life are the people who need support in nutrition. And I am the one, I am the one. I always tell people, when we give out food, we are the ones who are getting blessed, because we have the great privilege to serve somebody who can do nothing for you, who can't thank you. And then it should be a position of honor. Don't look down to these people, because they're blessing us, because they're allowing us to serve them. And anyone with the right mindset and the right heart can serve. And that's what I like about it. Keeps me grounded.
I don't think anyone is doing well right now.
No,
I
no,
don't think anyone's doing well.
right.
Um, I think some of us are doing less well than others, but on the whole, I don't think a lot of people are doing well.
Yeah,
And that's by design.
right.
So we can completely give in to apathy, or we can plug into our communities
Right.
and do things, do meaningful things to get through this.
That's what I wanted to ask you. So, based on what you're saying now, do you think, you have to feel, and you're in the California area. What do you see? Do you feel apathetic? Do you feel that, throughout, you look throughout generations of Americans? We've had a Great Depression, we had a Civil War, we've had World War Ones and twos, we had different eras of things, events in our life, and in human history and history of this country that we've been through. Do you think this generation, this have the fortitude, perseverance to go through it and deal with it and come out on the other side?
A lot of the protests around the globe are led by Gen Z.
Right.
Gen Z is better than we are.
Mm-hmm.
Those kids can hit the streets and protest. I have complete confidence in today's youth. I have no confidence in my generation and older, specifically non-Black. I want to be really careful. Non-Black people, Gen X and older, I have zero confidence. Zero. Millennials and Zoomers, I have all the confidence in the world in them. They don't know anything. They're dumb enough not to know anything, and they're smart enough to hit the streets. That works for me.
Mm-hmm.
They're not waiting for us to create the change. They're doing it themselves. If you have the inclination, you can go online and look up Gen Z leading protests globally. Let me see. Yep. Young people around the world are leading protests. Gen Z groups leading these protests to demonstrate along transport workers. That's from Morocco to Madagascar. This generation is defiant. Gen Z protests. See? Mm-hmm. What are we doing? There's what? The White Coalition is scheduling another, march in the park? Right. I can't with this. I can't with doing, and they're doing it. And good for them. Good on them.
Right.
We are the ones who created this problem. When you look at the voting demographic, Gen Z did it. Gen X did it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we keep looking at these voting, the voter percentages, white, Latino, women, men, Gen X, boomers. The young kids, majority of them sat it out, which I think is foolish, but that's their decision. I can't tell people what to do.
Right.
They're so displeased with the direction of this country and the focus of this country that they protest voted. And now we have what we have, and they're doing what they're doing. And it's a strategy. I don't have to like it, but it's a strategy. Mm-hmm. I just think it's important that we go back to base, which is self, family, community.
Yes.
Community can be your physical community. Community could be your online community. Community could be your church community. But start reinforcing those relationships and those friendships. Back to your question about what's the vibe in California. The reason I can't give an accurate answer to that is because California is not like Texas. We have extreme wealth pockets in California, extreme wealth. Mm-hmm. And then you have the white trash, rural, they don't even have a pot to piss in poverty. So one supports the other. And this is a big part of why I'm so disgusted with the lie that welfare is for Black people. We can all read statistics, right, and I can see it. I can literally see it with my eyes. When I drive through towns I don't want to drive through. But I do have experience volunteering, and I do know that there are a lot of resources specifically for Californians. We are the most populous state. We are also the most wealthy state. We also have a really powerful government within our state that has resources and access to programs and things that most Californians need, or that they're looking for. And that's why a lot of transient people from other states that don't have these resources wind up here, and they're unhoused, they're unemployed, because they know that there's a safety net for them here. Plus our weather is nice. Mm-hmm. So for the vibe of my state, we're approaching the Prop 50. Right. We're all filling out our ballots and mailing them, or making plans to show up at polling places. And my state has a lot of, because there's a huge tech presence here, there's also a lot of layoffs here. But you have to remember, the average tech worker makes 6 figures. The average tech worker has investments. So it's not like South Koreans pulling out a factory in Georgia where you didn't go to college, you don't have modern skills. You think oil is going to come back. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Yeah.
what?
Right.
Unemployment in California, especially in the tech sector, looks really different from being unemployed in a red state.
Right.
So I don't know that I would be any help giving insight into that because of that, right? And I wanted to walk through it so that people understand. A lot of times, my experience of this country as a whole is through other people online. It's what they say and what they don't say, and what they post and what they don't post. And then I do the work of looking up the statistics for said state, the unemployment percentage for said state, what are the money makers in that state, who's in charge politically in that state, right? Because it gives you insight into why they're saying what they're saying and why they feel what they feel.
Right.
California is by no means a liberal haven. Governor Newsom is not running for governor. I suspect he's going to make his announcement and his bid for presidency. So we have the danger of a Republican governor again.
Yeah.
I mean, Arnold did happen. And the worst thing that ever happened in the whole universe, Ronald Reagan was governor of California. So we can't pretend that
Right.
California is this, blue mecca. It can be destabilized very quickly.
Right.
So anyway, yeah, I just, so I volunteered for a great while with my girls at Glide Memorial Church. Not for religious reasons, just because I worked in the city and I was making really good money. So much that it made me uncomfortable that I wasn't giving back. And so I started seeking out groups and organizations that I could not only donate money to, but also my other resources like my time, my talent, things of that sort. And stumbled upon Glad Memorial Church, who they're in the Tenderloin, which is right next to the financial district, which is right next to Union Square. So it's right next door to well-heeled, affluent areas, but it's the most destitute, poor area. And Reverend Cecil Williams, he created this meal program so there's a lot of resources there. So Glide Memorial Church was in San Francisco since the 30s. And then Reverend Cecil Williams, they created this counterculture, almost like a Black Panther style situation, where he had this radical idea that we should feed people. We should feed people who are hungry. We should prepare the food. We should welcome them in. We should give them a safe, warm, loving environment to have their meals. And so I was interested in checking it out myself because I was of the mindset that I need to give back. So I volunteered. It was pretty straightforward. It was such a powerful experience that I went back with my daughters, and then we did it many times, and we donated all kinds of stuff. They have the warm coat drive. They have the meals. They have the Thanksgiving grocery bags that they hand out to really anyone who just shows up, right? So you get a turkey and all the sides and all of that, and the lines are many city blocks long. But I learned through that experience that it is important to maintain people's dignity in their time of need.
Yeah.
And it's important to be the person your dog believes you are. It's important to be a compassionate, kind, empathetic person to everyone. And so they have this. So the way it works is you show up if you're unhoused and you haven't had a shower. They have portable showers on site where
Mhm.
you can clean your body, and it's safe, so no one will steal your belongings or attack you.
Mhm.
And they have free clothing. So if your clothing is not clean after you've cleaned your body, you're welcome to access free clothing.
Mhm.
And so then you can join others in the group dining area, um, feeling, a little more like your old self because you're
Right.
clean.
Right.
And then they have the general dining area. Pets are allowed. So if you have a dog or a cat, they're welcome to come with you. Um, and if, say, you've had your meal but you're still hungry, you're welcome to take food, a second portion with you to go. Or a lot of people live in this SROs, which is it's a single um, it's a room. It's basically a room with a bathroom, but there's no kitchen.
Mhm.
And they put primarily Vietnamese exploited workers there when they were here doing the railroads and other things.
Mhm.
So a lot of the people who are served live in those, and a lot of them are very elderly. So one person will come and they'll bring meals for two or three people who are in their room who couldn't come for the mealtime. And I think that's a really beautiful thing.
Mhm.
There's also a cafe for single moms and children, so you don't have to. Kids are kids. They're going to be loud and unruly, and also a lot of women are victims of abuse.
Mhm.
So it's easier for them to feel safe in a space where it's just moms and children. It was such a beautiful program, and um, I was really happy to take part in it. They do more than just the meal service, but I was so impressed with the meal service. They have the regular meal, they have vegan meals, they have vegetarian meals. So everyone's comfort is taken into consideration, and everyone's treated with dignity and kindness and respect.
Mhm.
And I was really affected by that. And I'm really proud of my hometown. I'm proud to be a San Franciscan. I'm proud to be a Californian because of things like this, because of people like Reverend Cecil Williams, who had a vision and he made it happen. His unflinching care for the unhoused in the city was such a powerful experience for me that after that, I continued volunteering in other areas and other ways, and still went back to Glide Memorial Church when I had time to do a meal service. They have lunch and dinner. I don't know anything about breakfast, and I wouldn't because I'm not a morning person. But I volunteered for both of those meal times, and they do have a quick training that you watch a video, and then you're out and you do stuff, and everyone kind of works together. I really like it, and I would love to see more programs like that popping up. I did post about the Black Panthers and their free lunch program and their breakfast program and their meal programs. I would love to see more community outreach like that popping up, where children and families can show up for a healthy, nutritious meal at no cost to them or pressure, and have the dignity of community and caring. Um, I think it's great that you're reopening your food pantry. I'm certain, knowing you the way I think I do, that this will be a very loving and dignified experience for people to receive resources that they need to feed themselves and their families. And I think that is what I myself am focused on these days is tapping into that,
Yes.
into my servant's heart and what I can do in my community to be of help to others. Because I can't change my state, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can't keep plugging into the rage machine.
Mm-mm.
It's not healthy.
Right.
I'm not going to keep having the same circular arguments with people about my humanity or the humanity of Black people as a whole. I'm not going to do that. There's a time for it, and then there's a time when you've got to realize you're using a tiny bucket to get the water out of your boat, but your boat's still sinking.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't what I need to be giving my energy to. So I'm excited for you. I'm inspired by it. And I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that it's successful and that you get. So tell me, how are you going to get this food? Tell me how the resources are going to happen. Do you have feet on the ground soliciting resources? Are you getting donations? How is this going to be funded? What can we do? What can the listeners do? How can we help?
Give, and if you're in the San Antonio area, physically give physical support in the greater area. But no, we have plenty of money for food because we have continued to get money flowed in, even when we stop, because people believe that we have, our bank account set up where we have money particularly going for the food pantry. So once we're back open, we have plenty of money for food. Of course, you never can get too much, but that's not the issue. We just didn't have the labor. So that's what Dave is doing. He's real good. So we're getting people who are going to be volunteers, who are going to be laborers. So we don't have to get to the position again where we run out of people that will labor. Many times when I was a teacher, my students would help. They want community service, so they would help us put the food out. But now when I retired, I lost access to that resource of getting the kids to come and do community service and help us get food. But our biggest issue is the physical labor. But Dave is good at writing these things out, writing grants. We're working on a grant now to get a truck, a vehicle to pick up the food. So we're really actively on the ground moving. And like you say, this is where my energy is because I want to, at this time, I believe it's a time of silence, but when people mess up with silences, that don't mean you're inactive. Resting don't mean you're inactive, but I'm not going to, as you said, I'm not going to go on these circular wars. Where can I spend my time now? We're in this. We're in this now. But what can I do for my local community, the people that I can touch, the one life that I can touch? I can help keep their dignity and respect by feeding them. I myself, as a teacher, I have looked into the eyes of kids who are hungry. I think I explained this on our last video, or video we talked about nutrition. I have seen tears. Hunger is not something you play with. Hunger is not a political statement. Hunger is not a party. Hunger is a human being. And when you're a teacher and a kid walk into your classroom and they're so hungry that you have to do work and they're out there crying because they're hungry and need a meal, that changes you. Well, I can't speak for anybody else. It changed me. And so I am excited to spend my energy. We're in this situation and going around in circles with these people who want to have their own, who just want to just park their tents and just think that they're doing something. I want to be found guilty with my shoulder to the wheel. And so we have money. It's just now we're working on building a force meaning people who are a group that once we say we're going to give out these meals, these food, we have the resources there as far as labor there to get this done. That's what Dave is doing now. We got people coming in helping us redo the floors, and we're going to paint the walls. We're going to have a whole different setup, a nicer setup than we had before. We got the labor. So for any listeners, the prayers to be for people who are willing to, you just said it, to have the heart of a servant. The thing about that I've learned about service is that it don't matter how talented you are. It doesn't matter what side of the tracks you're on from. It doesn't matter. Anybody can serve. Everybody can serve. And everybody don't have to serve the same way. If you can't give, do your labor. If you can't do labor, it's something that you can do
Well, you can get on the phone. You
You get
can
on the phone,
call
you call
people.
people, you can tell
You can do
people
things on
about,
the internet.
you can tell people who you know who are hungry about us. You know what I'm saying? It's many, because people don't know if they they don't, if they don't know, they don't know. And we've had many. One of my students would come tell me, "Hey, Chief, my friend, their family, because they wouldn't tell me. I said, okay, how can I do this? And we'll give up ways. Well, we'll say, because we want people to keep their, as you said, we want people to keep their dignity, right? So I'll tell students, hey, tell your parents that we're giving out free food, because I know a particular kid wanted, needed, because somebody told me, and we'll be able to get the people food without erasing their dignity. And so it's so many ways that you can support, but that's where we're at, and we're truly excited about it, and it's really a good thing, because we give out the Thanksgiving and Christmas basket every year, and we first started with pantry, and I found out, you know what, people need to eat more than Thanksgiving and Christmas. Those are great times,
Right,
but
right,
people need to eat year round, every day.
right.
So I thank you for asking that question, because yeah, it's always been. I've had people who have never ever stepped foot in my Father's Business Fellowship Chapel, probably never will, even to this day. Jennifer, give to this ministry. My people I've met across the years in the military. So the coffers are fine. The coffers are sort of money, getting food. Another issue we had was you can only put so much in a certain space, right? We've always had limited space, but we're working on that where we have more space to put more food, and so we're ready for the moment. But yeah, thank you for asking that. But it's a labor of love, and it's when I lay my head down at night, I can go around and around with somebody on whatever, but when I lay my head at night right now, I feel it's good, because you know what I'm doing. My energy, I don't feel my energy is wasted. As you said, it's not my job to teach people. It's not my job but I believe it is my calling to help my neighbor, even whether I know that neighbor or not. I believe it is my calling to help my fellow human being. If I got
Hmm.
the strength, I got the ability, I've got the ways to get them food. That's where I want to spend my energy at, because then I feel my energy is not wasted. I'm not arguing with somebody about trying to make a point. It has its place. We need to do that. But right now, in the season that we're in, that's where I'm gonna really focus and lock in, and not get distracted off what we're trying to do. So I really appreciate that. But yeah, so we're in a serving time. I think this is a time to serve. You know, somebody asked me on Blue Sky one time, "What are you doing?" You always complain. What are you doing? Well, first of all, I didn't answer because I don't have to give my answer, but I'm serving. I'm trying to improve my serve. Um, if I die tomorrow, I want to be able to say that at least I was trying to do something productive, um, not trying to win a point with somebody who has no interest in truth anyway.
Right.
But I can say, again, I'm going to do that. I'm not saying people do it. I'm not erasing that. But when my energy, what I'm locked into right now, is getting this service back up. That's why I'm locked in. I'm not, and I'm not going to get distracted by what didn't happen last year. Who's this and who has regrets. No, don't regret. The milk is spilled. The horse has left the barn. It's here, and now you got to say, okay, in this moment, in this circumstance, what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to try to help my neighbor. I'm gonna serve, and so that's what we're excited about.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a number of Black women that I have mutuals with on Blue Sky who have spent the last 10 months now since the election results came out, strategizing, coordinating, and teaching anyone who wanted to listen how to prepare yourself for what's coming.
Mhm.
And a lot of Black women, they listened, right? They stockpiled. They have all the resources they need in their homes. And it's never too late to do that. It's never too late to be smart about what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Right. That's right. And you're
But I do think it's powerful to be able to tap into community for help.
Subscribe, your soul's in trial, or simply tied. Your soul medicine, it gets revived. The warrior line, soul tribe, assemblies vibe, it's friendly vibe. Your soul medicine will give you life. Your warrior